Hello, everybody. I'm Bayez Enayati, Kumar University of Science and Technology, Department of English. In this video, I will talk about appositives. Now, let me share the PowerPoint slides. Let's see what an appositive is. Appositives are nouns or noun phrases. They rename another noun or noun phrase. Let's go to an example. They set up a special table on which they display 7 foods with names beginning with the letter S in Persian, the language of Iran. In this example, Persian and the language of Iran are the same thing. So the language of Iran gives more information about the proper noun Persian to the reader. It is an appositive. Appositives are very helpful in writing definitions because they give the reader more information about the topic. If you look at this example, fudge, a soft, creamy candy. So the appositive, a soft, creamy candy, gives more information about the fudge. Maybe someone does not understand what fudge is. So a positive phrase gives more information about the word fudge to the reader. It clarifies the meaning and it helps the reader understand what the word is. We have 2 kinds of appositives: restrictive appositives, those that give necessary information about the nouns they modify. If you take a look at this sentence, my friend Tina makes incredible chocolate fudge. So Tina is an appositive here. It is a necessary appositive because it gives necessary information. If we omit Tina from the sentence, we do not know which friend of mine makes incredible chocolate fudge. We have also non-restrictive appositives. Unlike restrictive appositives, non-restrictive appositives give extra information about the noun they modify. I look at this example. Tina, my friend, makes incredible chocolate fudge. My friend is an extra appositive because if you omit it, you can understand the sentence by itself because you know who Tina is. If an appositive follows a name, further identification is unnecessary. Similarly, adjectives such as first, last, best, worst, favorite, tallest, oldest, and most interesting automatically make a noun one of a kind. So the appositive is extra information. For example, when we say Tina usually gives me chocolate, walnut, fudge, for my favorite holiday of the year, Valentine's Day. In this sentence, Valentine's Day is extra information because it follows favorite holiday of the year. And there can be only one favorite. Let's go to the second example. I have 3 sons. My son Callus looks like me. In the above sentence, Callus is necessary information because there are 3 sons, and the name Callus is necessary to identify which son you mean. My oldest son, Tom, looks like his father. In this sentence, Tom is extra information because there can be only one oldest son. When we say my oldest son, so the reader can understand which one we mean. So any other information in this regard will be extra. Let's go to comma rules for appositives. Use commas to separate extra information appositive from the rest of the sentence, but do not use commas with necessary appositives. For example, if you look at the first sentence, so magazine editor, the name is necessary. If there is no name here, we do not know which magazine editor the writer means. But when the name is at the beginning, we already know which magazine editor or which person the writer means. So a magazine editor in the second sentence is extra because the noun gives clear meaning to the reader by itself. Let's go to the interpretation of appositives. Look at these two similar sentences in words, but different in conveying meaning. My brother who works in a factory is very rich. My brother who works in a factory is very rich. In the first one, commas convey different meaning in the mind of the reader. When you say my brother, comma, who works in a factory, comma, is very rich, it means that this appositive is extra because the writer has just one brother. But when he writes, my brother who works in a factory is very rich, it means that the clause who works in a factory is necessary because there aren't any commas. So he has more than one brother, and the one who works in a factory is very rich. To figure out whether to use commas with an appositive, remove the appositive from the sentence. If the sentence still makes sense, use commas around the appositive. If the sentence doesn't make sense, don't use commas. And now let's review what we have studied. Appositives are nouns or noun phrases that rename another noun or noun phrase. Restrictive appositives give necessary information about the nouns or noun phrases they modify. Non-restrictive appositives give extra information about the noun they modify. And if an appositive follows a name, further identification is unnecessary. Adjectives such as first, last, best, worst, favorite, tallest, oldest, and most interesting automatically make a noun one of a kind. So the appositive is extra information. And use commas to separate extra information appositive from the rest of the sentence, but do not use commas with necessary appositives. Thank you for paying attention.